Hi guys, I'm Rita and in today's episode I'm running my event organizing business. Alongside organizing events, I also have an online course and I sell my planners. To record my transactions, I have decided to start using Zoho Books accounting software. So first thing, what I want to do is to register on Zoho Books. Okay, let's register on Zoho Books. So I search by Zoho Books, online accounting software. We'll look under pricing. I will change, okay, I have UK, but you can change to your country. And in my case, I will go for free package because my revenue will not go over 35k in this first year. Okay, sign up. Now I will provide my company name, email address, phone number, password, and I have area already provided. If you want to receive marketing communication, select or tick this box as well, otherwise leave blank, and definitely agree to terms of service and privacy policy. So, okay, so now I need to set up my organization profile. So my company name is Rita K, business is UK, state and province can be selected if required. It's not mandatory field, I will leave blank at the moment, but click on add address and here can be address details added. So okay, and regional settings is my currency is pounds because I'm in UK business operated, but if you are operating in different countries, make sure that you have correct currency selected, and time zone is defaulting already. If you are registered for VAT, select yes, and you will need to provide your VAT number. In my case, I'm not registered with business, so I will exclude. Okay, and of course later these details can be changed in settings section. And get started. So, before I go in any other section, I need to make sure that I actually confirm my account. So make sure that you confirm your account and access my account. So now I'm back to the same place in my account once I have verified it. So I'm registered on my Zoho Books. Yoo-hoo! So now I registered with Zoho Books, but before I start to record transactions, I actually will need to go through settings section. And unfortunately guys, I cannot skip settings section because that is foundation of how I will run my business operations on Zoho Books accounting software. But there is easier way for you to skip it if you wish to. I would not suggest to do so, but if you still wish to skip, you can go to description section below and there is itinerary of whole today's tutorial, and click on timestamp and you will be directed to section which you are interested in. So let's move on to settings section. So as I mentioned, I cannot skip settings section because it's important. It's foundation to my business operations and how I want to record my transactions on Zoho Books accounting software. To access settings, I need to go to top header on the right hand side and there is settings icon. Click here and all these categories are allowing you to change some sort of settings before you start to work on accounting software. So let's start with organization profile. Under organization profile, I can add a logo, I can choose an industry or change it. So for example, if you are in marketing or maybe you are in real estate, you can select an appropriate industry to your business. If you did not add an address of your business when you registered, you can add company address here or amend at a later point if your company address changes. Then fiscal year is your financial year or tax year. In my case, I'm currently running my business as a sole trader, but if in future I will become a limited company, so I will be able to change my tax year to, for example, full April to March instead of starting tax year from 6th of April. Yeah, so this is a place where you can come and change it. So if your financial year starts in January and ends in December, you can come here, select January and December 12 months, and also start date if it starts on 1st January or any other date. So in my case, my period is 6th April till 5th of April. You can change time zone and also date format. For example, if you want to use shorter version of your date, medium, or very long date, which will show up on your documents. So in my case, I will have date, month, and very short year version. Plus, you can choose one of 3 available date separation like icons. Don't know how they're called. Okay, so when you do any changes to every of these sections, you need to click save, so you don't lose your your changes. Okay, that's how I can close it pop-up. Okay, next is opening balances. So if you run your business already and you are not a startup business, and this is not very first accounting software, so you can move from different accounting software to this software by migrating data, and then you will have opening data or opening balances on Zoho Books. You can import opening balances. Here is checklist what you need to make sure, so if you're transferring data, what you need to keep in mind and what you need to follow. But if, for example, I had a opening balance on 6th of April because I started my business maybe on 5th or 4th of April, and only place what I have with opening balance is my bank, then once you will have added bank, you'll be able to add your opening balance under bank. So if you need to add opening balances, this is a place and settings where you need to come and add before you start to record transactions on those categories. Okay, next section is users and roles. Here, for my free package, I actually have only one user and accountant's access. So to invite accountant, click on invite accountant button here, add email address, name, and send an invite. But if you decide that you need additional team member, or maybe you have additional team member but you still want to use your free package, you can invite user, but this invited user you would need to pay £24 plus VAT per year per one additional user access. So you can actually stay on free package, but you would need to pay for additional user, which is very great feature for Zoho Books, because majority or other accounting software doesn't provide that kind of flexibility. So add email address, name, and select one of 4 roles what you want to assign to them. Difference between roles you can see under tab roles. Here there is description what each role would give and what kind of access they would give to this particular team members that you would invite. So choose wisely. Okay, next section is preferences, and this is a huge section, but all these sections, subcategories would need to go through and check. And they're more like your preferences, so what you want to see, what you want to enable, on what you want to work. So for example, under general, if you don't issue estimates and you don't issue recurring invoices, or you don't set up recurring invoices, just deselect them. If you want provide the payment links and see an updates of that site, please note that online payments are not available on free package, you would need to go to next paid package. But if you go to next package and settings, you can enable payment links. So in my case, I would issue estimates, recurring invoices, and also credit notes. Okay. Set the first day of your work week. So for example, if you are maybe an agency and your agency workers would start work on Sunday till Saturday, this is the area where you would need to come on Zoho Books and select your first day of working week. Okay, select a PDF attachment requirement. So if you want to encrypt the PDF files that you send, select that box, tick box that you want to encrypt them. Okay, if you give a discount, that's good. If you give to your clients or customers, then you can select either at a line item level. So for example, if you have 3 lines, for each line you will be able to add a different discount, give a different discount level. But if you just give a one discount that would apply for whole invoice, click on add transactional level. But if you don't give discounts at all, select I don't give discounts at all. So I will select that in my case, I will give at line item levels. Okay. Select any additional charges. If you want to add any adjustments or shipping charges, you can select here. If you are service-based business, just deselect shipping charges if you don't apply them, as well as if you don't apply adjustments. So in my case, I will have no adjustments, but I will have shipping charges. Okay. Yeah, so there is also about billable expenses. So if you will bill to client, you can add a markup. So for example, if you incur something for £10, but you add markup of 30%, then you would charge your customer at £13. So if you will exercise that kind of activity, then this is the area under general where you will add your markup percentage. Once you are happy with changes, click save. Okay. Next section is branding. Under branding, we can add my organizational logo. So if you haven't added your logo under organization profile, you can add it or upload it here. And also you can select different themes for a client portals. That means that if you give an access to your customers, that's how their portal and what colors they will look like. Okay. Customers and vendors, change any specifications or settings here. So for example, if customer type, your main customer type is individuals, then just change it to individuals. When you're creating a customer or client card, individual fields will be more prioritized versus to business. In my case, I will have more business than individuals. If you provide the credit limits, select and provide an option that you would be able to add the credit limits when you will create or add a client or customer on Zoho Books accounting software. After any changes, save. Okay. Next section is for accountant. So if accountant requests some details that need to be changed, come to accountant section under preferences and you can amend or select more features what accountant can do or what their actions would make to your business. Client portal, that's what clients will be able to see and what they would be able to do once they sign up on portal to see their invoices or statements and etc. If you want this select something else or deselect, come under general and change that functions or settings here. Okay. It's not wine, it's actually tea. Okay. Next section is items. Under items, I can select how many decimal places I will have in my item quantities. So in my case, my item quantities will be whole numbers, but if you want to show 2 decimal places or even 4 or 5, this is a place where you can come and go and change it. Yeah. And it's the same about duplicate names and price list. You can come and amend it here. Sales, you can go through one by one section and add any terms and conditions and any customer notes. For example, if you want to provide your bank details here, just add under customer notes. When you send estimates, you can add information here. So, well, actually bank details would go more under invoices, under invoice customer notes. Okay, so we can provide this kind of details here. Also, if you want associate and display expense receipts in invoice PDFs, you can select here as well. So lots of features, and I don't want to go in very detail about all of them. You can read through and select all that applies. Majority of main important settings will be selected, but if you want something to deselect and not use, that's where you would come and select. For example, if recurring invoices, you can create and send recurring invoices directly, but if you don't want it to be distributed, you still want to review it, so under recurring invoices, then keep it as it was to create as a draft and send notification when this invoice as a draft being created. Otherwise, if you don't want to create a drafts and you want to send invoice directly out to customer, just change it to create and send invoices. So that is the difference. There would be already defaulted features available, but if you want to change something and make your life easier and don't go extra step like reviewing drafts, if you're happy with recurring invoices, then just change to what's more applicable to you or your business. So credit notes, delivery notes and packing slips if you use your stock control side, which is not included in the free package by the way, but if you use some sort of support documents through packing slips and delivery notes, this is where the settings are for them. Under expenses, this is where we can add a vehicle. For example, if your business has a vehicle, add a new vehicle here and record details about your vehicle. And under preferences, you can associate employees to expenses, add details and check or change any rates. So they've been updated by Zoho Books already, but if you want, you can edit or you can delete if you don't use, for example, motorcycles in your business. Modify and amend this section as you wish. Okay, and of course you can add a new mileage rate. So this covers preferences. Next section is about currencies. So if on my list I have 3 currencies available, so I have American dollars, pound sterlings and euros. But if you want to add a new currency, click on new currency above, select code. For example, we'll select first one, it pre-fills details already for you, and click save. So this would add a new currency which is not on a list. If you want to remove it, just delete it and this currency would be removed. So next section is VAT. If you are VAT registered business and when you registered on Zoho Books you said that you are not, but you want to record VAT and record or report your details to HMRC through MTD modules, click yes, provide your VAT registration number when you registered as VAT business and any other features or functions what are applicable or settings what are applicable to you as a VAT registered business. Once you do those changes, click save, of course, otherwise you might not record VAT. Yeah. Next one is construction industry scheme. It's not included in free package, but if you decide to upgrade and you are part of construction industry scheme business, this is where you need to come and enable or start recording or reporting construction industry scheme features or functions if you need to, if you are part of construction industry scheme. Next section is templates. So you can edit, amend, or create completely new templates on any of those sections. So to edit, hover above, click edit, and you can change headers, tables, footers, and etc. So this is how it looks currently, but if you want to change margins, colors, formats, you can come and amend in line with your as you wish, as you like. Okay, next one about emails. So email preferences and templates, you can come and update. For example, if you want to change subject or content, you can go on email section, and there is all different kind of email templates available. So for example, if you send a customer statement, that's how it looks like. But if you want to add something else, just come and change here, or you can add a completely new. Okay. Reminders. If you would want to use reminders, you need to come and turn them on, or you can add a completely new reminder under this reminder section in settings. Online payments. So if you want to use Stripe, Go cardless, I think so it was, yeah, Go cardless or PayPal, you can set up any of those online payment methods here. It's simple and straightforward, and your clients or customers will be able to pay you directly. For example, if you provide Stripe link in your invoices, and it saves time for them and would save time for you to make sure that they are paying on time and etc. So if you want to enable Stripe, where Stripe link or PayPal payment method or Go cardless is enabled, under settings you can come here and enable those or set up your account on. Next section is integrations. So there is two main parts, Zoho apps and other apps. Under Zoho apps there is huge list. You can firstly try on part of them, but others which are not available to try, you can connect directly. So for example, if you work on projects, there is Zoho projects available, so you can add on that one to more easier manage any project work if you're working on. Or maybe if you are business who wants to manage your inventory levels and stock, then you can try Zoho Inventory and enable Zoho Inventory Management, stock management features. Yeah, features. Okay, so there is lots of Zoho apps available that you can connect to your core accounting software. Other apps would include Slack, Square, Zapier, Google, or Microsoft. So you can enable integration, connect, or you can add. So those would work for with Zoho Books as well. And if you want to do SMS integration, go under SMS integration and you can connect to Twilio here. And Uber for business, for example, if your business uses lots of Uber, for example, traveling between different locations and etc., then you can enable integration and it would save more time about expenses. But that's if you're using Uber, and it's quite for, I would say, for bigger businesses. If you have a couple of receipts, it's not an issue to upload receipt or actually record the transaction. Okay. Data backups. So if you are using Zoho Books intensively, I would suggest at least once in a month or once in a fortnight to do a backup of your information. In case if something goes wrong with your Zoho Books account, you always would have a backup with information and details available if you would need to go back and see where you were at. So this under settings, in this section under backups, there is backup documents and backup data, and there is also notes and information what you need to be mindful of. For example, you can read through and decide when and how you do your backups of your data and documents. Okay, and then last one is upgrade to a paid plan. When you click upgrade to a paid plan, you would be moved to Zoho store, and because I'm on my free package, there is free paid packages available, and next one is £10, next cheapest one, but all these packages provide more features what would be not available on free package. So for example, if I want to accept online payments, it's unfortunately not available on free package, so I would need to go for a standard package and to have an online payments feature available, as well as multi-currency invoicing. Yeah. So to read more details, click on three dots, and there will be more information available to read about what add-ons can be added. As I mentioned about users, there are £24 per user per year. What can be added additionally to packages, and price is the same, doesn't matter on which package you are. Only difference is that a standard package got already 3 users, professional got 5 users, and premium got 10 users included. Yeah, so that's about Zoho store, and that's about last point on our settings section, upgrade to a paid plan. So we have covered settings now, and let's move on next section. So I am already working on a special occasion event for a special couple. But organizing events is not the only income streams that I have. I also sell my planners, and I have an online course where people can learn tips and tricks of how to arrange or organize an amazing event with a wow factor. But how we can actually separate all these income streams on Zoho Books accounting software before I start to issue invoices? So let's have a look on subsection called Chart of Accounts. To add the different income streams, the same would apply to different, for example, costs of sales. If you would like to change, we would need to go to Accountant and search Chart of Accounts. To add a new revenue stream, I need to find the sales section, and sales is here. Okay? To add a new account, click on New Account, and I would need to firstly select an account type. In my case, it will be not liability, not equity, it will be income. Okay? Account name, I will have digital sales. Okay? And I will make this a sub account, and I need to select to which group of income, and in my case it will be sales. Okay, account code, if I want I can specify, otherwise I can leave a blank, and description I will leave digital sales. Okay, save. So now when I scroll till bottom, digital sales are coming out from sales section. Okay, let's add another new account, and this time I will have under income, and I had digital sales, but now I have also custom orders. Okay, make a sub account, and this will go under sales. Okay, we'll keep as it is. Save. So when I go, I have 2 subcategories called digital sales and custom orders. So under digital sales, I will have an online course and my event planner and notepad, and under custom orders I will have events. So let's add those. Click new account. And now parent account will be my digital sales for this online course. Okay. And click save. So now when I scroll down, under digital sales I have online course, and I need to add another one, which is event planner and notebook under digital sales. Okay, so under digital sales I have online course, event planner, notebook, and under custom orders I will have corporate events, weddings and other occasions. So let's add those. So now I added under sales, digital sales and custom orders, but digital sales are broken down in online course and event planner notebook, what I'm selling, and custom orders are separated by corporate events and exhibitions, weddings and other occasions. So this is a way how we can separate different income streams on chart of accounts. The same would apply on any other code or groups that you would like to have as subcategories added. I have different products and services that I sell to my clients. So from product perspective, I have my planners. Also, I have an online course, which kind of between product and services. And then I provide my event organizing services depending on event or how many people would attend this event. So I have different packages for events, I have an online course, and I have different planner prices based on what size person would order. So how I can actually make my life easier by adding these products and services on Zoho Books accounting software. So when I issue an invoice, I just need to select from drop-down list this particular item and details would be automatically pre-filled. Let's have a look at the next section called items. So now let's have a look on items section. And here I can add different services and products that I can set up. So when I issue an invoice, I can just select from drop-down box and it will pre-fill details. So to add a new, click on new button there, and then I can select if that would be good or service. So in my case, let's start the first with goods, and it would be my event planner A5 size. Okay, unit, if I'm selling as pieces, then I select pieces. If you want to add a completely new unit, just type in and it will save as one of the units in your drop-down box list. Okay, click pieces in my case. Selling price, I'm selling A5 size for £85. Account, here I can specify where I want this line to be recorded. And under sales and digital sales, I have event planners notebooks. Okay, and if I want, I can add a description specifying details if needed. So in my case, I will leave as it is and click save. Now on left hand side, I can see overview of event planners of A5 size. If I will issue invoices, I will be able to see transactions and any other history relating to this item what's been done. If I need to edit, I can click on edit, or under more section, I can clone item, mark as inactive or delete. In my case, I will clone an item because now I have also event planners A4 size, it's pieces, price is different and price is £130, okay? And the same event planner notebook account and description, I have no details to provide. Click Save. Now I have event planners A4 size and event planners A5 what I will sell. Okay, now I will add a new service, which is my online course. So select service, online course. If I have no, like for online course, if it can be in hours or if there is no time limit, then I would not add any units. In my case, it will be as an hour, enter as HR, or you can add an hour and it will keep that unit of measure here. Okay, selling price, my online course 1 hour costs £85. Yeah, and account, I will select from my added digital sales subgroup, and there is online course. Okay, I can add description for more details. For example, if I have any maybe one-to-one coaching sessions or etc., that can be added under description, and click Save. Okay, now I added service. The same like with other products, I have option to edit and I can clone item, mark as inactive or delete. Okay, let's add a new one. In this case, I have my event packages. So I have events, let's call events 1, and in description I will provide events up to 50 people. Okay, unit, in my case I will keep this blank because there is no unit for this service. Selling price, I have 2,500, and I will select an account, and this would be under other occasions, and click Save. Okay, now if I select, I can more action, I will clone this item. Okay, okay, so this is a way how we can add a product or services on Zoho Books accounting software. It will make more life easier when we will issue invoices. So this will pre-fill details from our item section. Before I start to issue invoices to my clients, I will need to show actually bank account, and I need to add it on Zoho Books accounting software so I can reconcile my transactions in bank account with what's happening in system, so it balances. So if I have one or multiple bank accounts and credit card account as well, how I can add those on Zoho Books accounting software. Plus, if I have added little bit of funding at the beginning, how I can add an opening balances before I record transactions on Zoho Books accounting software. So let's have a look on the next section called banking. So now let's look at banking section. So how I can add a new bank account. To add, click on enter your account manually. Here you can select if it will be bank account or credit card account. In my case, let's start with bank first. So I will have bank business, account code, currency. You can select from drop-down box which currency account this will be. In my case, it's pound sterling account. Account number, okay. Bank name, I will have Ritas Bank in this case, and you can add a description. and I will make this my primary bank account. Okay, click save. Okay, and I have added my business bank account. Okay, to add a credit card account, click again on the same button, select credit card in this case, account name, bank credit card account. Okay, account code. Okay, currency, select your currency. Bank name, I will have the same Ritus Bank. And once you have filled in all information, click save. Okay, again back to bank overview. Now I have my bank business and I have bank credit card account. So if you have another bank somewhere else, bank account, add details here in click save. So this will allow you to add another bank account. Okay, so what options we have under this account? So when you go on this button and click on drop down list, we can edit this account, we can view transactions once we will have transactions, import statement, manage transaction rules, and mark as inactive. So you cannot delete an account, definitely when there is a transactions, but for example, I have credit card account euro, and when I mark this account as inactive, it will show up on below the list. There is inactive accounts, and only here I will be able to edit account, mark as active, or delete. And if you click delete, that euro account, credit card account has gone now, been deleted. Okay, so we added bank accounts and credit card account. So how I can add an opening balance, because at this moment I have zero in account, but I actually had an opening balance. So to add an opening balance, we will need to go to settings section under opening balances. And here, when I scroll to bank section, there is bank business available. And I will have an opening balance of £1,000 in account. And click continue. System will give you a pop-up messages. I'm happy with this information, and click confirm. Okay. So now I have in business bank account £1,000, and then there is opening balances adjustment of 1,000 here. So when I go back to my bank, okay, I have an opening balance of 1,000 now in my business bank account. So now how we can actually record transactions? So either transactions will show up manually, we can enable bank feeds, or we can import statements. So in my case, I will import statement, select account. In my case, I will select and add statement for bank business. Choose file. Please note that you need to download sample file for which format you want to upload your bank statements. There is particular columns, I think so there was like 6 or 7 columns, if in my case was CSV file. And format in that way. Choose file, and you can choose from desktop or from documents. If you use an AutoUpload, it will show up, you can upload your statements or documents here, and then you can later to attach to any other section. So in my case, I will upload from desktop, and under downloads, I have my bank here, click open. Mount column type, I will have double column, but if you have single column or single column with negative values, just select one of drop down list provided. In my case, I have double column, so I have withdrawals and deposits available. Character encoding, have no idea what is that one. I will keep as its system have defaulted, and I have commas used, but if you use semicolons, just select and semicolons option and click next. Here I can specify details and make sure that it's in the same way. So for example, if my date starts with date, month and year, I can select from drop down box. In my case, it is as year, month and date. That's my date from my bank statement. Then I have description line, I have payee, either I paid out or someone paid to me, reference number, and then I have withdrawals and deposits. Okay, I will save these sections for future and click next. Now it's showing that on my statement is 15 rows and they are ready to be imported, and there is no errors. So if you will have errors, they will show up there. And once I'm happy, click I'm happy, so I will click on import. And here I am. So all my statement has been imported here, and every transaction will need to be matched. So for example, I have internet and phone. It will need to match at a later point. So first we need to go through purchases section and sales, and we will come back to bank to reconcile this one. So now when I will go back to my banking view, I can see that there is 15 transactions which will need to be allocated. So this is a way how I can add bank, how I can add opening balances, and how I can import statement. Okay, so let's move on to next section. That is such a great feeling to help someone celebrate their special event. And in this case, I have little baby girl shower. So how I can actually add a new customers on Zoho Books accounting software. Let's have a look on next section called sales, but subsection customers. So how we can add a new customer now? As I said, under sales section there is customers. When you click on customers and click on this plus sign, it will give you already like client's card. If I go back to customers, I can add a new customer by clicking on new, or create new customer when you haven't added any customers yet, so you are adding for very first time. Also, you can import customers from the file if you are moving between from different software to this software. And there is two types of contact. So first one is customers, this is what I'm covering now, and second is vendors, which is suppliers, and it will be covered under purchases. So let's create a new customer. Now I have a choice, either I will add a business or individual. So if I'm adding a business, in my case I will have no primary contact for business, I will have just a company name. So I will click company name, in my case it will be Events Limited. Customer display name, when I click on this, if you have added name and surname, you will have multiple choices to choose from. For example, I will add Lucy Green. Then customer display name provides more options for me to select. In my case, I will go for Events Limited. Okay, I can add a customer email, so I will add my email so I can check how invoice looks like and show to you guys as well. Okay, if you have phone number or mobile number, it can be added there, and when you click on more details you will have an option to add more. Okay, and then there is 6 more fields: other details, address, contact persons, custom fields, reporting tax, and remarks. So if I click on each of those sections, there will be more fields available to fill in about this customer. So for example, starting on other details, I can select a currency, how I will invoice these customers. So I said that I'm using 3 currencies, most commonly euros, pounds, and United States dollars, or USDs. But if I want, I can click add new currency from this drop down list at the bottom. Yep, I will keep £2 sterling for this customer. I can decide if I have how many days I want to give this customer to pay for this invoice. So if I can say that they need to pay now, 15 days, 30, 45, 60, or there is an option configure terms if you have different day terms what you want to provide. So in my case, I will have 15 days payment terms for this customer. Okay, if I enable access to portal, they will be able to see details about their account on portal about them. Okay, next section, address. I can add a customer address. If you know address of your client, it can be filled in here. Contact persons, if there is multiple different contact persons, for example, if there is someone from sales team, someone from finance department, those details can be added here. Click on add contact person and you can add multiple people here. Custom fields and reporting tags, there are more through settings, so you can go through settings and change those preferences there. Under remarks, for internal use, there is a note. That means you can add, so someone from your team, if they're working with this customer, they are aware. Maybe they need to reference some purchase order numbers or any other important information what they should be aware of. So this remarks section, it's like a note what can be used for internal communication. Okay. So once we have filled in all fields and happy with information, click on save. Here, client or customer will show up. When we click on it, I have more options to do. So overview is available about this customer. It's quite detailed. Comments can be added. Also transactions, when invoices will be issued, journals, credit notes, and etc. all will show up for this customer in any of these sections. Yeah. So I can edit by clicking on edit. I can attach files if there is any files to be attached. Also, what I can do here is I can add and associate templates, stop reminders, email customer, and etc. There's multiple options what can be done relating to this customer. Okay, let's add a couple more customers. Okay, so I have added a couple of more customers. So when I select on, for example, particular customer, I can send customer statement, I can print customer statement, and under more I can do bulk upload, enable portal for this customer, merge, associate templates, mark as inactive, or delete this particular customer. So this is way how I can add new customers, either business or individuals, on Zoho Books accounting software. I received a call from a client who is really interested on table setups for their reception, and they advised that they would provide a wine as well as luxury suites. But there was one key point. Table setup should include a golden envelope. What they would place there, I have no idea. But as client wishes, it's my task to provide. So while I try to actually figure out how I will make this table setup work, I actually need to send an estimate or quote to this client. Plus I have a couple more customers who need to be invoiced, and I have one recurring invoice which need to be set up for customer who signed up for my online course. So how I can actually do all these things on Zoho Books accounting software. So let's have a look on next section under sales, couple sections under sales called estimates, invoices, and recurring invoices. So now I have customers and how I can issue that estimate for a table setup. To issue an estimate, click on Sales section and there is subsection called Estimates. Create new estimate, and here I can select the customer. So in my case, it was Events Limited. I can view customer details, add address for billing or shipping. Plus, if you have completely new customer for estimates, new customer can be added by clicking new customer, and you will have an option to record new customer. For Events Limited, I have currency showing in right hand side as GBP. Okay, so this is first estimate, but when you click on this settings icon next to estimate, I can change. So I can actually say that this is estimate 250. Okay, so very first estimate will start from 250 and it will follow 251, 52 and etc. Yeah, I can add a reference, so I will put table setup. Estimate date, I will choose, I will say 4th of May. If there is expire date, you can add expire date for this estimate. If you have salespersons, assign salesperson to this particular estimate. Subject, I can let know about what this estimate is or quote is for, and it's the same as reference. Table setup. Okay. Now I can select from my drop-down list for table setup. Because this is completely new, I will click add new item, and now I can select goods or services. So in my case, this would be a table setup and it will be a set. So do I have a set? I will say a piece. Okay, and cost for one piece, it's, I will say 1850. Okay, sales, this is custom orders, and in this case it's corporate event exhibition, and click save. Okay, so I have table setup. If I want to add a description, I can add for this item more description. Quantity, actually I had 50 requested, so price comes to 925. If I have another line to add, click on another, add another line, and you will have an option to add more details there. I will delete. Okay. If there is shipping charges involved, add those here and it will add to total. So in my case, shipping charge is about £25. Okay, so it comes my estimate total of £950. Okay, I can add customer notes, I can add terms and conditions, and also I can attach file. For example, if I have a picture of this setup, what I have taken, I can upload there and send with an estimate. Okay, and if I want to email, I can email to Lucy straight away, or I can deselect. So if I select Lucy Green, I can save and send. Okay, this is a template of my email. I still can change it if I want, but if I'm happy with all information, click send. Now, estimate has been sent out to my client, and I have a couple of options what I can do. I can edit, I can send mail again, I can share, I can download this as PDF or print. Also, I can convert this estimate to an invoice. I can mark this as accepted or declined. For example, client came back and they're not quite happy and they declined it, so I can mark it as declined if customer haven't communicated back to me. I can clone this estimate, delete, and then I can change some estimate preferences and look at some page tips if needed. Okay, so now I will jump to my email and show how this estimate will look like. So estimate 215 has been received, and this is how the estimate email will look like. Also, it will attach a PDF file which can be downloaded and saved in files if needed. It's quite simple and straightforward. Okay, and when I click on view estimate here, it will open on new tab, and it's like a guest client for, portal. So if I would enable for events limited client portal, I would be able to see details and I would be not just a guest. Okay, so this how my emails look like and how I can access through email to my estimate. Okay, let's go back to my Zoho Books account. Now, if customer confirmed that they're happy with a price of 950, I can convert to an invoice. But if they have came back and they said, oh, I want to change it, click on edit, and we can change this estimate by changing quantity or changing price. For example, if I had request for 100 at 1850, but I gave a discount. To add a discount, I can add either percentage or I can add an amount. In my case, I will say that I gave a discount for £350 and there would be no shipping charges involved. Okay, so if I'm happy with amendments that I made, click save, and I can send this estimate to client as well if needed. Okay, so if client came back and said that they actually accepted this estimate, so status has changed now, I can convert it to an invoice. Click convert to an invoice, and now I need to say which sections I want to keep when I issue an invoice. And I will say I want to retain customer notes, terms and conditions, and address as it was from estimates. Save and continue. Now invoice estimate has changed to new invoice. Events, invoice settings, I will change that. I will have invoice starting from 1000. Okay, order number, I can add an estimate, and it was 250, 3 zeros, yeah. Invoice date, I will keep this to 4th. Okay, keep to 5th. Terms, 15 days. I can still add sales person. Table setup, the same information being brought from estimate to an invoice. If I want, I can still add shipping charges if they are applicable. And I can save and send. When I click on drop down box, I can save and print, save and share a link, save and send later. In my case, I will click save and send. An email will be sent to Lucy. Okay, click send. So now when I click on estimates, there is this estimate 250 and status has changed to an invoice. So when I go under invoices, now I have this invoice and it's due in 5 days. To add a new invoice, click on new plus new button. On drop down list, I can add a new invoice, I can add a new recurring invoice, or I can add new credit. We'll cover a little bit later. So let's add a couple more new invoices. Okay, so I added events invoice and I said that I want to send it later. So I can now schedule this email and I can say that it can be sent tomorrow, end of this week, end of this month, or I can custom date. So I will select that they need to send it out tomorrow. Okay, for this invoice. Okay. mark as sent. Okay, so that invoice been sent out, and I will mark as sent for Jane as well, as that invoice been sent out. Okay, so this is a way how we can issue invoices, but how I can set up recurring invoice. So for my online course, to set up recurring invoice, click on recurring invoice section and create new recurring invoice. Here I would select a contact. For example, I have Travel Limited. Profile name, I will say Travel Limited. Order number you can add or leave a blank. Repeat every month in my case, but there is every 2, 3, 6 months, years, or custom timeline. So you can select. In my case, it's monthly subscription price. Start, I will select that this starts on 1st of June and ends, even never expires or ends on particular date. In my case, it would end in end of November. Okay. Payment terms, I can change. Either I give 15 days to pay it, or it needs to be paid immediately. I will say that it needs to be paid immediately. If there is salesperson involved, you can add it there. And now I can select from my drop-down list my online course. So I will put online course, and there is, let's say, 4 hours 85. Okay, and click save. Add any other information if it's applicable to you and click save. So now I have an option to, this is active recurring invoice. If I want, I can edit, I can create invoice, or I can stop, clone, or delete this recurring invoice. And I can see all details on right hand side. So for example, I have remaining billing. It starts on 1st of June and will end on 30th of November. There is an address and details provided. So if I have more recurring invoices, to add a new recurring invoice, click create a new recurring invoice and fill in details below as I filled in for Travel Limited. So this is a way how we can issue estimates or quotes, record invoices, and set up recurring invoices. Oh sugar! I sent an invoice. It should have been estimated. So how I can correct it? Can I issue a credit note? So let's have a look on Zoho Books how I can issue a credit note for an invoice which should have been an estimate. Concentrate, Rita, concentrate. So I sent an invoice to Venue Limited and it should have been an estimate. So how I can actually correct it? I can select an invoice which I sent by mistake, and to issue a credit note I need to go to 3 dots on right hand side, and here I can create a credit note. Click on create a credit note, click OK. A new credit note will be created based on this invoice. So I will change the settings. I will say that my credit note number starts from 10. Click save, so it starts from 10. Reference, I can say that reference is invoice 103. Credit note date is to date, and it already selects all details and information as from my invoice, and click save. So now this invoice is showing as paid, but actually there is credits applied, and credit note 10 has been applied to this invoice. So if I want to send out this credit note, it's closed showing, I can send out to my customer and apologize that I done a boo-boo actually, and it should have been an estimate. And I can go back to estimates and issue estimate to venue limited. So this is a way how I can actually issue credit notes to an invoices which have been sent out to clients. Also, if credit note should be issued for a part, so it's a partial invoice, partial credit note for an invoice, then for example, let's do for Events Limited, issue credit note. I can create a credit note and amend amount for which I want to issue a credit note. Yep. So, and then save, and it will apply that amount. So for example, if I want just issue credit note, go through section credit notes, click new, and start to type in details for this credit note. So for example, customer name, I will select Events Limited, credit note 11, reference, if you know an invoice number, then select a reference number. So in my case, I will say 101. Credit note date, I will select 10th. And for example, rate should be 250. Okay, and click Save as Open. Oh, I haven't selected an items. Okay, let's say events, and then I will have 250 and save as draft in this case. Okay, so I have Events Limited credit note 11 for 250. Here I can convert to an open, and under more I can record as refund, clone, apply to an invoice, or view journal. So if I click to apply to an invoice, I will be able to select to which invoice I want to apply this 250 credit note amount. So I have selected invoice 1000 and click save. So now credit note is closed. I do not need to refund back, and when I go to invoices, I can see that Events Limited is now partially paid invoice. So this is a way how we can actually issue credit note from an invoice section, or if we want to issue a credit note for certain amount and then to allocate to one of the invoices to which it belongs in this case, or keep and then allocate at a later point. So yeah, we covered credit notes now. Okay, let's go and issue estimate. I looked in my bag and I just found that actually I forgot an envelope. One of the customers at their venue paid me some deposit in cash. Also, I have received the money in bank account, which I can see. So how I can record transactions or payments received from customers on Zoho Books accounting software. So let's have a look on next section under sales called payments received. So here's my precious envelope with £2,000. I need to deposit it in my bank account, but not at the moment yet. So how I can actually record these £2,000 what Travel Limited have paid me as a deposit. To record payment, customer payment, I need to go to section sales, and here is subsection called payments received. I can go to unpaid invoices and record payment from there, or I can click on new button here and I can record payment from this area. So I will select my Travel Limited. They paid £2,000 and payment date was actually somewhere before, I don't remember which day, let's say 3rd. Okay, and payment type, you can select bank remittance transfer, cash, check, credit card, or online payment. In my case, it is at the moment still cash because I have money on hands. And deposited to, I will select that it's petty cash before I move or deposit it into my bank account. Reference, I can say deposit payment. Okay. And I have unpaid invoices for 3,800, and they paid a deposit of 2,000 before 15th of May when I issued an invoice. Okay, and if I have notes to add, I can add notes here, and I can upload files if I have any files to upload, and click save. Okay, now 2,000 being recorded for Travel Limited. So when I go to Invoices and I click on Travel Limited, there is partially paid. Okay, click here and I can see deposit payment in cash. So how I can actually record any other transactions what customers have paid me in bank account. Either I can go through payments received and add new payments, or if I have uploaded a bank statement, then I have 15 transactions here still to reconcile. And all money, what is called a deposit, they need to be reconciled or allocated to particular customer invoice. So for example, here Events Limited have paid 1,500. So when I click on 1,500 in right hand side, there is already one invoice available for 1,500. Or I can allocate to any other invoice which is still available on system, and they're called as possible matches. But in this case, 1,500 are relating to this invoice, and I click match. Okay, that payment has been reconciled now. Next one, I have 1,300 on 11th of May. When I click on it, there is possible match already found, and I can match with that invoice. Okay. Next one, I have 204 for an online course, and I have invoice for Jane, which I issued, so she have paid it as well, and I can match this invoice there. Now I have deposit payment of 5,000 from Venue Limited, and of course I have only available for Travel Limited, but this one is Venue Limited. So I can actually record this transaction. And to record this transaction, I need to click on Categorize manually and select what this money relates to. So in my case, this will be customer advance. So before I receive money before invoice is issued. So I will click customer advance. I will select customer, in my case is Venue Limited. If bank charges are applied, I can add them there, but there isn't. Date when I received is 13th of May. Reference is estimate 2. Received via bank remittance, and it is deposit. I can attach any files, support files if I have. For example, I have sent an estimate, but they have paid the deposit and we are still trying to negotiate a total of an invoice. So I'm happy with this one, I can click save. Okay, so this is the way how I can match bank with customers. So when I go back to my sales and customers, let's go invoices first, I can see that majority of invoices are paid, and Travel Limited has partial paid because they paid 2,000 and still 1,800 they do to pay to me. Okay, when I click on customers and I click on travel, I can go under transactions, and here I will be able to see invoices what been issued through travel. But for events, for example, for events, I had 2 invoices issued, and when I click on statement, I can see all ins and outs. So when invoice has been issued, when money been received, and what credit notes and for which invoice been issued and allocated. So this is a way how we can record payments for customer invoices if we have received money. So either payments received or if we have uploaded a bank statement, we can allocate via bank statement and click on match function. So when I go back to my banking, I have only 11 transactions left out of 15. So when I click on transactions, and I can see all transactions which been matched or categorized. In this case, venue is categorized because I paid an advance. Okay, so yeah, this way how we can record customer payments on Zoho Books accounting software. I can see that this has been a very busy month. Look how many receipts I have. And all those need to be added on Zoho Books accounting software. Also, I have a couple of invoices in my mailbox. Those need to be recorded as well. So how I can add a new supplier or vendor, record my receipts and supplier invoices on Zoho Books accounting software. So let's have a look at the next section called purchases. So let's have a look on purchases section, how I can add the vendors or suppliers, and how I can record expenses, which would be like receipts or a supplier invoices. So on left hand side on sidebars there is section purchases, and first we will start with vendors. If I can click on plus sign, or when I click on vendors, I can create a new vendor when I'm very first starting to add the vendors, or click on new at the top header section. So let's click new vendor, and card will actually look like the same or similar like contacts card for customers. So we have main body where we would need to add contact details, company name. Then below we will have 6 sections, other details, address, contact persons, custom fields, reporting text, and remarks to fill in. So I will add first contact, and it would be company called Rent Limited. So in Rent Limited provides a rent of my property where I am, and display name will be of course Rent Limited. If I have an email address, I can provide it here. Also phone numbers like work phone or mobile can be added on this vendor or supplier card as well. Under other details, I can select a currency. So if this supplier provides services in different currency, from drop down list I can select the ones which I have selected as most oftenly used currencies for my business. But if you have any other currencies, click on add new currency. You will be directed to settings section where you can select any additional currency what this supplier would issue an invoice. And once you have filled in details, click save and select. Okay, so in my case I will have pound sterling. Payment terms, have a look on invoices. Often they would say when invoice is due. So if I have 30 days, 15 days, or due on receipt, select one which is more applicable. For Rent Limited, I have 15 days payment terms. Okay, address details can be entered here. So I have rent company, so I will call Rent Street. I will call London. Okay, and I can add phone and fax number. Also, if there's shipping address, it can be added there if it's applicable to this business and business dealings, what's happening between you and the supplier. Contact persons can be added. As I mentioned, there might be multiple contacts, salesperson, director, finance director, maybe warehouse manager, and etc. All different contact details can be added. Just click add contact person and you will be able to add multiple persons. And when you click on show more fields, you will be presented with departments, designations, and etc. You can add more information if it's needed. Okay, Custom fields and reporting tags, you will need to go to settings to add or customize based on your business needs. And under remarks, there is like a note for internal use. So if you have a team members, so once someone goes to this supplier and there's something important what they need to be aware of about the supplier, those notes can be added here, and only these will be for internal use. So these remarks will not show up if you enable, I don't know, client's account, so they will not see this information. It's just for internal use. Okay, once all information is added and you are happy with fields what's been filled in, click on save. So now my vendor number 1, Rent Limited, have been added here. For every vendor there is more details. So when you click on this vendor or supplier, there is an overview tab about this particular supplier. There is also a comment section which can be added. Example, if multiple team members communicate about this supplier, maybe it's not paying on time, or it's always delaying, or maybe need to reference something like purchase order or whatever. Those comments can be communicated, and it will be very useful for internal use between team members, so that there is no issues going forward with this particular supplier. Also, once there will be expenses recorded, those transactions will show up here, if expense, or also if journals will be allocated or going through this Rent Limited, in my case, Rent Limited account. Emails and statements, also there is 2 separate tabs, can be reviewed. Statements can be selected and, for example, for whole period or only for this week as a recent, so time frame will change here, and statement will be provided on. This statement can be printed, saved as PDF file, Excel file, or sent via an email. So I will add a couple more suppliers. For example, I have purchased multiple materials, so I have local shop to add, and also I have electricity bill coming in, so I need to add that one information as well. So let's add new supplier, and to add new supplier from this screen I need to click on this red button with plus sign in the middle. Okay, so I have added a couple more vendors. So now how I can record transactions. So first way is we can actually upload receipts. To upload receipts, we need to go to documents section. Here we can enable auto scan documents. I will click enable auto scan. Okay. And now, because I'm on free package actually, I can have only 2 auto scans what I can add as a support files on this system. So I will choose file to upload. In my case, I will attach from a desktop, and I will select, okay, where is my receipt? Okay, there is mail, okay. So scan is in progress at the moment, and I will be able to add an expense from this section. To enable auto scans, this package is paid actually, and to add about 50 auto scans per month, you will need to go through purchase add-on section and you will be directed where you can add this one. Otherwise, we will need to go back and add our expenses manually. So how to add expenses manually? I can attach from a desktop. In that case, it will go to my attached files, to documents, and I have allowance only 2. Or I can click on new. When I click on new, I can record either expense, mileage. In that case, I need to have a car actually for my business. Or I can add a bulk add expenses. So to do a bulk adding expenses, for example, as I had all these receipts, I can do it through here. So what I would do, I would go one by one receipt and I will select the date. For example, I will have 5th, expense account, it's costs of goods sold, amount, I will have 34.40 here. I will select amount, where it's been paid through. In my case, it's been paid through bank business account. I can select a vendor, this is local shop, and I can select customer name if I want to allocate this expense to someone. I haven't enabled project, so I haven't got an option to allocate to a particular project. Then I would select next receipt. This receipt is dated 6th. It's cost of goods sold because they're my materials. And this is quite small, it's 565. I will select a bank account, local shop, and if there is customer, can be allocated there. Next one. Okay. It is 10th. Let's say 30. So this way how we can add a bulk, adding expenses in bulk. So for example, if you have receipts, so that can be added quick and easy, click save. Okay, now all these ones being recorded. So if I want to add a proper expense and attach a receipt, copy of receipt, I can click, for example, on this of £30 and I can attach receipt afterwards by clicking attach receipt, attach from desktop, and I can select an invoice, which my invoice, receipt of local shop, open, and it will attach copy of receipts there. Okay. So now it's showing that they're being attached documents. So if I add bulk of receipts on system, whole list of my 10, 20 receipts, I can later go one by one and attach those support documents there. So if I have a supplier invoice, how I can actually record it? So click on new, record expense, and record expense in details, and here I will be able to attach receipt. So for example, on 13th of May I had rent expense for 250 and it's been paid through bank account. And I would select a vendor, in my case it's Rent Limited. I can add a reference, which is supplier invoice number. Okay, any other notes if they're applicable. For example, it's rent May 22. And if there is customer name applicable, can be allocated as well. And I can click on save, or I can click save and new. Okay, save and new. I have on 9th of May hotel bill, so I have travel expenses. If I have multiple lines, I can itemize this supplier invoice. So for example, on 9th of May paid through bank account pounds, and I have air travel expense as a one line. This one would be let's say flight 41, add another one, and I will have air travel expense, and here is a hotel which was 40, and then another one. I will have transfer. Okay, and that's 10. So this comes to £91. If I want to change, for example, here I can search by hotels, and if there is no hotels, I can add a new account to which would match better with that particular line. So in my case, is there a travel? No, it's just only air travel expense. Okay, I can attach receipt, attach from desktop, and I have hotel booking receipt for £91, which would include also flight and transfer. Okay, so I can select a vendor. In my case, I will need to add a new vendor, or add hotel limited. Okay, if you want to add any other information, you can add, for example, if address details need to be added. Click save, and it will select under vendors there. And the reference number, it will be supplier invoice number, and it will be travel 1234 A 123 S. Okay, and save. Okay, so now when I'm looking, I have split invoice for hotel limited because there was 3 lines provided, and I have added 3 lines there. Rent limited, I haven't attached support document. Click on attach receipt, attach file, and I should have rent invoice there. Okay, so rent invoice been added there as well. So this is the way how we can add a supplier and record receipts as well as supplier invoices. So when I go through documents now, this receipt being processed for 1635, so system ready information, 1635 uploaded by me. Now I can click add to new expense. And when I click new expense, I can select an expense account. This is travel. I will select air travel, 1635. Date is correct, 28th of January, but I will select for my test purposes of let's say 15th of today. Paid through, I can select a bank account. Vendor, I have Gatwick Airport, and I have Sonoma. Okay, so it already fills details here. Click save. Okay, a reference, I can add order number, so there is order 7317. Okay, and it's already system read information that it's country, breakfast, kind of. Oh yeah, that there is mistake. Okay, and plus coffee, so I can say that it's meal. So I can update information as I wish, and then save. So now uploaded document have been posted under my expenses, and I can see air travel expenses, Sonoma Gatwick Airport. So this is the way how I can add expenses, record expenses like receipts and supplier invoices. But if, for example, on my bank reconciliation statement, I have a couple new suppliers, how I can actually record those. So for example, Hotel Limited, when I click on Hotel Limited, because I marked that £91 been already paid, system already gives me an option to match, so I can match this £91. Next one, I have local shop of £150, and there is multiple transactions for local shop, but none of them are for £150. I can categorize it manually, and from drop down list I can select what this £150 relates to, and in this case it is an expense. I need to select an account. I will have cost of goods sold. I can itemize if I know what this £150 relates to. Vendor, I have local shop, tenth for 150, reference, local shop, I'll just put 1, 2, 4, 5, okay? And I can attach receipt from my downloaded or saved file. So 1045 for 150, I have receipts there, okay? And click save. Now, system asks me if I want to create a rule. So for example, they read from these transactions that there was 150, and they ask if the same is met, can they post it on system already? So if you don't add receipt manually and you would record this transaction from your bank statement, then I would go for this bank rule, create new rule, and it would save a lot of time. Later you need to just go back and attach a support file like receipt, or if you have a supplier invoice. So my criteria, I will never have £150 the same amount, it will always change, so I will remove this criteria. But if payee is local shop and description is supplies and materials, then I will add a rule, local shop, and I will say costs of sales or costs of goods sold, and click save rule. Okay, so bank rule has been created for that. Next one, I have insurance payment for 250. There is rent expense for 250. This is nothing to relate to rent, it's insurance payment. So I would categorize this manually. Expense, an expense account, let's search by insurance, and there is no insurance actually. So I will need to create a new account. Click on new account, and I need to select where this actually will this expense will sit. So if I select fixed assets, there is description for every single category what that means, and if you need to record that particular transaction under one of those. So when you create a new account or code for your chart of accounts. So in my case, it will be expense. And if I select expense, this is like incurred running my business, like license fees, utilities, expenses, and I would say no, insurance is not part of one of those. So I would go to next one, and there is cost of goods sold. So there are like materials, labor, and costs what would be to make sure that I'm providing my services at a high standard, and insurance would not go under cost of goods sold. And then there is third category called other expenses. And here is saying that like insurance or contributions towards charity would be a separate category. So I'm quite happy to actually create code under other expense. So account name, I will call business insurance. Okay, if you use account codes, you can add account codes there, and description can be added there as well if needed. So save and select, and it will select that expense account there. Vendor, I will add a new insurance company. Click enter, and it will add vendor names there. If you want to add more details, you can go and add, otherwise just save it. Okay, date, amount, reference is picked up from my bank statement, insurance payment, and I can attach receipt if I have insurance company schedule coming through or information. So I will attach there and click save. Okay, so do I want save rule for this? Not for business insurance. Okay, next one is bank charges. Bank charges is you can categorize as expense. It also can be part of a journal transaction if needed, so we will cover it in a little bit later. Next one is bank transfer. Bank transfer, so I made a money movement between bank accounts. To record bank transfer, I will need to categorize it manually, and it would be transferred to another account. And I can select where I transferred this account to money to. And I have credit card account, so in this case I have moved £1,000 from my account into credit card account, and click save. Okay, there is refund reference, so there is refund for £300 that can be recorded a part of a credit note what's been issued, so that will be covered in a later section. Supplies and materials, there's for 270, and there is of course no green limited, so I will create a manually expense, cost of goods sold, and I have green limited. Press enter, save, attach receipt, open and save. Okay, then I have local shop, supplies and materials, and there is a receipt recorded for £30 of local shop for materials as well. I can match it and clear out from my list. Rent, I recorded invoice for rent and I can match. And then I have internet and phone. I will need to add this one because I haven't recorded for phone limited any invoices yet. So I can select an expense account, but this £45 actually relates to 2 lines. So I can itemize it by clicking on itemize. In this case, I need to select vendor, and phone limited is not on my vendor list. Press enter, add details like address or remarks, and click save. So phone limited is there. Date is 13th of 5 from my statement. And now I can separate multiple lines by adding next line and clicking on this button, add another line. So first one, I will select account for internet. So IT and internet expenses. And from £45, £30 relates to my internet. Okay. Add another line. And now I will have phone, telephone expenses, and those are £15. Okay, and I will add description phone. So that came £30 and 15 came to 45 and matches to my this transaction. Reference is there, attach receipt. I have phone limited invoice there, and click save. Okay, this transaction has been matched now. Okay, so this is a way how we can add a new supplier, add receipt or invoice through expenses tab, or through banking when you reconcile your bank account. So deposit I recorded, so I need to take this one to bank and deposit now. All my receipts are recorded as well now, so they can be filed away. But if I need to do some corrections or some adjustments, how I can do those on Zoho Books accounting software. So let's have a look under section accountant and manual journals. So there will be times when you will need to do a journal entry on Zoho Books accounting software. So how to do a journal entries. On sidebar under accountant, there is manual journals. And when I look on that adding new journal button, there is drop down list. Here we can add a new journal, create from template, new template we can create, and also we can create a new recurring journal. So if there's something what happens every month or every week, depending on your reporting requirements, then you can also set up a new recurring journal. So in my case, I will start with adding new journal. Firstly, select the date when journal need to be posted. Journal, you can click on settings section and decide if you want to add a prefix. So I will add JNL, which is journal, and I will start with journal 1. Okay, and click save. So it already shows JNL1. If I want to have a dash, add a dash there, and there will be dash between numbering. Okay, you can add a reference, which would be your internal journal reference. So maybe 2022, 5, and 1. Okay, notes. Here can be added notes, for example, bank charges, in my case. And I can have a cash-based journal if I'm doing cash flows, otherwise just don't tick it, leave as it is. Currency, select currency. If you need to post a journal different currency, select currency in which you want to post this journal. It will be defaulted to your system currency. In my case, I have pound sterling currency. Now we have journal body, and most standard one is just 2 rows, but if you have journal which have multiple rows, for example, there is one amount, but then there is breakdown where these amounts need to go out or come out, just add another line by clicking add another line button. Okay, so let's delete excess rows. So now I need to select an account. In this case, I will select business bank account. Description, I will say May bank charges. Okay, I can select a contact person if I want. In this case, I will leave blank. And of course, my bank charges are £10 and they're coming out from my bank account, so it will credit my bank account. So it is double entry accounting, traditional accounting. So on Zoho Books accounting software, if you need help of how to do journals and how accounting works and system, there's lots of resources available to find that information in online. So if bank reduces, that means it's credit. If money comes in my bank account, it will be in debit side. So where I want to move these bank charges, in my case, I want to move it into expenses and code to bank fees and charges. I will copy my description, it's the same description, and it will go in debit. So in expense side, it will increase. So it will increase cost to my business, even if it reduces my bank account. Okay, make sure that total, subtotals, or totals, balances, debits equals credits, basic accounting rules. Okay, and if you will have a difference, for example, if I will have a typo and I will put 9, it will show where in which side actually there is difference or disbalance, so you can balance it off. That might happen when you have lots of rows to enter with information, especially if you're doing it manually. Sometimes it can be mistyped. Okay, I can attach file. So for example, if I have a journal template, I can attach it there, or any other support documents which could help to have reasoning behind why this journal is posted. Okay, and once I have added all information here or filled in all fields, I can save and publish, save as a draft or cancel. In my case, I will save and publish. Okay, so when I go back to manual journals, I can see my journal entry there and who have created. So if you have multiple team members, you'll be able to see who have created this journal and where it's been posted, on which date and for what amount. Okay, and there is notes. When I hover above it, it shows that it's bank charges. So when I click on this journal, I can edit, I can save it as PDF, print, I can attach files, I can make this journal recurring. Because this is bank charges, I can actually convert this journal to a recurring. So name, I can put bank charges. Repeat, in my case it will be every month. But if you have this kind of, for example, charge or adjustment happening every week, every second week, or maybe yearly, you can select this frequency, how often it happens. So start, I will say that now it will start from 10th of June, because I have posted already from 10th of May. And ends, I will select in this case till end of December, so I will review after December, because bank charges might increase, so that means that my amounts will need to change. Reference, I will keep the same reference. Bank charges, I can put monthly, so I can update details, monthly bank charges. And this is my journal entry, and I will change to monthly bank charges. Okay, and click save. Okay, I cannot create recurring journals for because I'm not on paid package. Okay, but I hope this helps you to understand how you can actually create a recurring journal if you are on a paid package. Okay, so now I have posted my bank charges journal. What else I can do under here? So I can add a comment, so I can see who posted when I click on this transaction. I can add comment and add more details or information if required. So for example, if someone, if you ask your team member to post a journal, then you can come back and add a comment why this journal have been made, so it's easier at the end of your financial year or tax year to reconcile your accounts. Okay, so under this journal, after making recurring, there is under more, we can clone. We can create a reverse entry for this journal. So for example, if we don't want this journal to actually show up and it shouldn't have been posted, so reverse entry can be done, and this would balance off to 0, so there will be no adjustment impact on any of your accounts. You can also create a template for this journal, and also this journal can be deleted. Okay. So this covers manual journals from accountant section under manual journals. What a crazy week I just had. Good glass of wine would help. Oh my god, that is not delicious. It's not delicious at all. Before I start to celebrate, actually, I need to find out how well I have done. Have I actually made a profit in previous period, or maybe a loss? So I will need to have a look on next section of Zoho Books accounting software called Reports. I need to have sweet. I need to mask that face. Okay guys, now this is the most exciting bit for me, because we will look at reports. I have no idea how well I have actually done in this past period. And let's have a look on section reports. On sidebar, click on reports, and there's so many different reports available to look at. Activity, currency, accountant, purchases and expenses, taxes and banking, payables, recurring invoices, payment received, receivables, sales and business overview. Wow, that's a lot. And I really want to go to profit and loss. I will save that as my favorite. So by clicking on that star, you can save as a favorite. But I want to quickly scan through any other ones, pick up couple other reports which I think might be useful to use. So Let's start from the bottom. There is activity, for example, activity logs and audit trails, so you can see who does and what have done on accounting software. Currency, if you use different, if you do transactions in different currencies, there will be realized and unrealized gains and losses reports for you to review. Accountant, so you under that one there will be account transactions, general ledger, which is like all transactions. General ledger will show all transactions made in a period, and when you click on any of those blue numbers, it will bring you a summary of that particular account in details, including debits and credits, and then balance of amount at that time, so accountant can easily review that information. Okay, let's close that one. Let's go back. Next section is about purchase and expenses, so I can look on expense details, but also I can look on expense by categories. For example, how much I have spent on air travel, cost of goods sold, and then I have also rent expense and business insurance. So the most is cost of goods sold. When I click on it, I can see which vendor issued what invoices or receipts, and when I click I can see more details by drilling in and look on any attached documents if there are provided. Okay, so let's jump back to my report. Okay, taxes, if you are VAT registered business, VAT calculation summary will be available under this section. Banking, you can look on reconciliation status. If there is any unreconciled transactions, for example, there is a matched statement line, there is unmatched book transactions, those can be corrected and amended or adjusted. For example, there is transactions for 15th, and if your bank statement been uploaded up to, let's say, 13th, so there is still 14 and 15 transactions missing, so don't panic. Think when was the last bank statement uploaded for you. Okay, so next we have payables, so we can look at payables summary and details. If I look on payables summary, I will be able to see any payables that haven't been paid. For example, if I have some supplier invoices which haven't been paid, those will show up here. Okay, so next is recurring invoices. If you have loads of recurring invoices, you can look at recurring invoice details, and they will show up in this section. So example, if I have this month recurring invoices issued, or this year, for this year, well, travel limited will show up because next invoice will due on 1st of June. So change your date or period, and then you will be able to see more details, or details what you are interested in to look at. Okay, next, payments received. You can look at time to get paid, so how quickly money been paid by Events Limited, and for example Jane's, they paid within first 15 days. And of course you can customize report and share, print, export, multiple choices you can select from what to do with these reports. Okay, receivables, I can look on aging summary or a detail. So if I'm looking at aging summary, I can see who owns me money, who haven't paid yet. So Travel Limited owns me 1,800, and when I click on 1,800, actually they own me 3,800, but they have paid me 200, because you can see there is a difference. So there is invoice 1,004 and it's partial paid, so they still own me 1,800 from 3,800 pounds of an invoice amount. Okay, you can select any other information by clicking on any of those reports available. Also sales, we can look by sales by customer, by item, and salesperson. I had different revenue streams, so I'm interested to look sales by items. And when I look on items, I can see I sold one A4 size planner, one A5 size planner. Even there been a credit note going for 750, and events I have issued invoice for 3,800, and table setups for 100 I would say units or pieces, being 1,750. So these ones are average rates per unit. So total amount 6,504. These would not include estimates. So these are pure sales. Yeah. Okay. And now I have business overview, so I can see movements in equity. Equity is my cash position or assets and etc. So I can look at that. No, equity is my actually funding for business and if there is any movement in retained earnings. Okay, balance sheet is position of my assets. So if I have any cars or buildings, receivables and cash, when I click on balance sheet, I can see position of, for example, I have still cash of 2,000 on hand in my envelope. In my bank account, business account, I have 7.3k and still 1.8k receivables, which Travel Limited should pay to me. So actually, actual value of my assets is almost 11.2k. 11,151 pounds worth of current assets. And then of course there is liabilities. So I have moved 1,000 pounds to my credit card. It's with minus. So actually this should be going back to my business bank account because negative is actually increased. So my value of assets is 12,000 on hand. Adjustment, that's been my funding of 1,000 in my bank account, and unearned revenue is 5,000. That is amount what actually my customers have paid me as an advance payment. So if I'm looking, I can see that I had 2,000 as a deposit payment in cash, and plus I had 5,000 going into as Venue Limited. 5,000 they paid to me as money for we trying to negotiate terms and conditions for this event, but they already paid 5,000 as a deposit. It just need to decide about the amount of what I should invoice. So once I will issue invoice, I will be able to allocate 5,000. So deposit payment in cash, 2,000 it went out, so that balance off. So only thing what is left on this unearned revenue is my Venue Limited payment. Okay, so let's go back, and now can I have drums in the studio, please? Let's have a look at my profit and loss. How I made profit, or maybe I have made a loss. So profit and loss, let's start little bit by little bit. So total of sales, so I have two sales subcategories. So I have custom orders, and I have made from corporate events and exhibitions 1.9k almost. Another occasions was 4.5k. So total from custom orders I have made 6.4k, and from digital sales I have 215. Online courses will start from June, so it's why under digital sales there is no online courses. Yeah, and any estimates would not appear in these operating income amounts, nor advance payments like 5,000 from Venue Limited. Okay, next one, cost of goods sold. I've got almost 1.7k of cost of goods sold. So actually, if you click on these numbers, it will give you a summary about what is included or recorded under these amounts. So it's easy to follow and see what combines this total amount. Okay, and then I have operating expenses, and my operating expenses are 412 at the moment, and the most goes to rent expenses. Okay, then my operating profit, so gross profit was 4.8k, operating profit is 4.4k. Also I have business insurance costs of 250. Then my net profit is 4.2k almost. Okay, let's say 4.1k. Not bad at all. So, and there is a note at the bottom that amount is need to have a sip of my not tasty drink. So amount is displayed in your base currency. So all these amounts are displayed in pounds sterling in my amount. So I can add a temporary note if I want to this profit and loss statement. I can collapse. In that case, it will just try to give a summarized view. So I have given discount to someone. When I click on discount, I can see that I gave discount to Events 100 and to Jane £11. So I can review that information as well. And yeah, pretty excited. Looks very, very good. So as I said, you can mark any reports as favorite by clicking on that or making that particular report, marking it with a star. So for example, I want my aging summary as well. So those will show up in my favorites at the top. So you can create your list. So this section covered reports. Okay guys, I really hope you enjoyed watching my Zoho Books accounting software tutorial. But if you have any questions or require any further advice, feel free to reach out to me. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye! And I'm getting ready to go partying. I think I look good. I like it.